My name is Emily. I live in Alberta, in Canada. Lucky me. I have a wonderful life where I live with my husband and I have it very easy actually, I think. I have 2 degrees in science. So I have a general science degree, which was the most useless thing ever. Very interesting, but incredibly useless.
Yeah.
And it's like having a math degree. Have you heard the math degree joke?
No.
Okay.
I kind of want a math degree though.
That's useless, but that's okay. So what's the difference between a math degree and a large pizza?
Pie? I don't know.
That was good though. That was totally good. A large pizza can feed a family.
That's fair.
And a math degree cannot. Anyway.
Math people will be like, don't diss the maths.
Oh, the maths are very interesting. They're very important, but just getting a, bachelor's degree in math, probably not going to get you a whole lot of jobs, but that's fine. Anyway, so I have 2 science degrees. I have a general science degree, which again, useless but interesting, and stressful, and of course. And I have a after degree, which is a second degree, which only took me 2 years, thank God, from BCIT in BC. I used to live in Vancouver, in environmental health. Mm-hmm. And environmental health covers basically everything in, the physical, chemical, and biological world that can affect human health, because that was the reason we were learning it. It was how it revolves around human health. Mm-hmm. So my expertise is definitely in that. I was a health inspector or environmental health officer, or whatever you want to call it. A lot of names for it. Jerkwad, SOB, etc. Whatever you want to call it. I did that for 6 years. I worked for Alberta Health Services, and I did that for 6 years. And a lot of stress. Yes, it was a lot of stress. So I stopped doing that job because it was just nuts with the stress. Kudos to anybody who can continue going with that kind of job, for sure. It's just...
We'll have to weed some stories out of you one day.
Yes, you will. I'm not going to say where they are, because that's not okay, but I will tell,
general details, exciting stories,
yes,
slightly change names, all those details.
Right, exactly. So, I was a health inspector for 6 years. I had experience in, doing inspections and enforcement from everything from foods to pools to drinking water to outbreaks to parasites to sewage. To zoos. The list just goes on and on and on. Anyway, the zoo thing is interesting.
Let's do videos at the zoo one day.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Anyway, so and I worked for like a year and a half as a diagnostic imaging clerk, which was not that exciting, but I learned lots of stuff about diagnostic imaging, so that was neat. And I got to read a lot of weird recs, so I'm not going to say any personal information, but that might come up too. Yeah. So that's my whole... I'm just really interested in history. I'm really interested in science. I'm really excited about where this is going to go.
Yeah. It'll be fun to explore.
Yeah.
Curious topics.
Right. Yeah. Just exploring everything, looking at what the world looks like, and
also being critical about it and poking holes in places that don't like being poked.
That's what she said. Okay.
But still, like it'll be fun to kind of just take broad topics, find something interesting, and just tell a story about it, and just like. And also, I really want to interview people, and just people that work in the field of science, and just like know what they're excited about.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hope that everybody realizes that, this journey isn't about, seeking truth or seeking, the absolute end of whatever each topic is.
That's a fruitless affair.
Well, there's also...
futile affair.
Exactly. I mean, there's almost no point in it. And I don't think that people who are trying to do that have a pointless job or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I just think that, I hope people know and realize that all that this is about is just a really interesting discourse.
Yeah.
On a lot of really fascinating topics and how our world works.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And also just being able to ask interesting questions, because ultimately we learn the most from stuff that's interesting to us.
Well, totally. And I mean, even if something is a truth to you, I mean, modern economics is a truth to tons of it, people. I mean, even if you're not religious, you still subscribe to that for the most part.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still a religion, though, almost. It's kind of a made-up thing that we made up.
Yeah, it's a religion by another definition, much like many other belief systems and so on, and governance systems and all those things. It's interesting.
Totally.
Anyways,
so what's your introduction?
Okay, I'm Kelly Hofer. Where do I start? I've been a photographer for 16 years now, I think. I've been an artist in many different fields, including sculpture, video. I've written a book on how to write culture, which is to say I also grew up in a how to write colony in Manitoba.
That's the elephant in the room.
Yeah. To her.
Yes.
To her. It's all relative.
Right. And he's, way, way better at technology than I am. And my only excuse is I grew up with a couple hippies.
Yeah.
he grew up in a how to write colony and he's much better at it than I am.
Despite growing up in a how to write colony, we were around tech a whole lot, and a lot of the things we had on the colony, like the technology was at the cutting edge of what we could get or that made sense.
And that's amazing.
But anyways, my dad is a teacher, and I've always been around the idea of education, like lifelong education, my entire life. And I want to make this series or this channel or whatever, this project, a process of just us learning stuff, because it makes us better people.
Well, exactly.
I think, and more informed people. So I don't have a degree in anything, but like I said, I self-educate a lot, and I read a whole lot, and I write a whole lot, and just love explaining stuff to people, because that's what I love doing. I love debating stuff as well.
Oh, well, absolutely. And I mean, the reason that Kelly and I started this is because basically all we do when we hang out is argue with each other. So we figured we may as well just go with this. And if it goes nowhere, that's fine. If it goes somewhere, that's great. Regardless, we like to do what we enjoy, which is argue with each other and learn new stuff, which is also great. So.
Yeah. And I really want to make this about exploring the world and seeing the world just through different perspectives, because the best thing for us is perspective.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, just questioning everything is so important, And I know that this is always my point, is that everything is basically in question. I know that
and also everything is important.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything is, just as likely to be the truth as it is to be not the truth. And I know that there's a lot of people who are going to argue against that. And the point of this is not to necessarily argue against, or for what the truth is, but it's just
to argue, to explore where the truth lies within that realm, or where the truths might lie. So
right, exactly. And I mean, it depends on what your reality is. I mean, everything depends on what your reality is. So
it's all relative.
Exactly. It's all relevant, as some really dumb people say. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, not everything's relevant.
No, it's true.
Most certainly not. There must be some discerning in which information you choose to be true in your own life. Or to be true, just full stop.
Exactly. Done. Exactly. And I mean, there's lots of people who think that, the economy is a lie, which kind of is.
Yeah.
But,
but a lie compared to what?
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's still a truth to us.
Yeah.
We still need to get money to eat. So it's still a truth.
We're living it. So clearly it's a system that came into fruition through our own actions. Calling it false or true is a pointless affair.
It is,
so to speak, because truth is such a weird concept.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's something that you can't really identify in real life, I don't think. I mean, I'm a huge agnostic. Let's just put it right out there. I just don't think that anything is necessarily so real that you should put all your eggs in that basket. You know, agree. Even this being blue or this being yellow or whatever. I don't really believe in much. Yeah. And it's kind of a weird existential way of living your life.
I'm in the same boat.
But it makes stuff interesting, for sure, because it kind of just makes everything...
because it allows you to ask why for every question.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the fun, is like, why? Yeah. And I find it interesting that when you ask that often enough, you'll come to either the idea of God or the idea of like some quantum thing happening.
Or the idea of nothing being real.
Yeah.
Which is a very existential way of looking at it. But, you know, it's depressing, but I definitely relate to, you know, existential stuff a little more than I'd like to admit that I do.
I do too. Like, it's often difficult to kind of find a path in thinking because there's so many variables to consider, and I'm so unsure about everything. And this is kind of like also one of the ideas is like I want to become more sure about things. Like just
I don't think that this is going to help you with that.
No,
it's not going to help you with that.
No, it won't. I want to be unsure in a more specific degree. How about that?
You want to have your truth?
No, I want to be unsure about very specific things rather than unsure about the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
I think that's a...
Unsure up here as opposed to unsure down here.
Yeah.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah. And every time I do that, I picture a food pyramid. Yeah. In case you're wondering in the future, it's always like, here's the carbs, here's the meats, you know.
How valid is that pyramid?
It's supposed to be really good, but I think it's better than a lot of the fad diets. I mean, that's more my truth than anything else that they put out there.
That makes sense.
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's more my truth than MSG is poison and gluten is going to kill you. Mm-hmm. That's for shit sure. I'd rather like...
No, I love gluten, I love MSG, and I love sugar, and I love fat.
Right.
And I like all of those things in copious amounts.
Yes, he's worse for that than I am. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I like this, so.
we all have our poisons.
Cheers to that.
By the way, this is shit wine.
But we should also show you our little logo because it's adorable and I love it.
Yes. We'll just have it here.
Yes, so you can see because it's so cute.
I don't know where I have it. Oh, there it is.
There. Very easy.
It's a tarsier.
Yes. Do you know what a tarsier is? A tarsier is a little tiny primate. It's like the smallest primate in the world.
About this
sorry
big.
if I got that wrong. Yes.
I scaled this approximately.
Did you? Yeah. That's his felted tarsier.
I started felting one. It's not finished yet.
He's very, very good at felting. We don't know why, but that's okay. So maybe it's the Hutterite thing. I don't know. But
well, they do knit a lot.
That's true. Anyway, but it's the same thing as that. So that's our confused little tarsier. Tarsiers have those really, really, really big eyes. They're just super, super buggy. They're the most amazing things ever. I actually got to go see them when I was in the Philippines.
Are there any at the zoo?
No.
That would be amazing.
I don't think that there's any at our zoo, that's for sure. Oh, okay. They're one of those protected species that they really only keep on like Bohol in the Philippines. But I went to the nature preserve there, which was supposed to be better for them, but these really loud people were right before us, so all the tarsiers were awake, even though they're nocturnal, which they like hate being awake during the daytime, which I totally understand. But yeah.
I would too. I'd be a grumpy asshole.
Totally. So and if they're in captivity, actually they kill themselves a lot, which is really sad. But they're known to commit suicide.
I didn't know that suicide exists in the other animal kingdoms.
It does. Yeah, I've heard. Apparently, with these cute little tarsiers, it does. So, if you ever go to the Philippines, make sure you go to the one that's better for them than the one that keeps them in cages. Because the one I went to was like a sanctuary for them.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on sanctuaries. They're amazing places. Like they create so many like videos that make you tear up of just a wee bit.
Oh yeah. I don't want to watch those.
If you have emotions and.
Oh, get off of it! You do. But anyway, they're adorable. I know. You better admit it, you son of a bitch. I'm an emotionless robot.